As I stand here, so many thoughts crossing my mind after listening to everybody that spoke. As they say, this is a dinner that is honoring Rabbi Turk and Rabbi Portnoy. And I must tell you that the honor is not mine. I was fortunate to be surrounded throughout the years by people that, similar to the ones that we read recently on Shabbos and this past week's Parsha, there were Jews that were in the Midbar that were Tomei Lameis. They couldn't bring a Korban Pesach. They couldn't participate in bringing the offerings for Pesach. And they said, Loma Nigora, why should we miss out? Why should we not be part of it? Yes, we're Tomei Meis, we're in Ones. They either were Tomei because they had the Atzmas Yosef, or there was a Mes Mitzvah, but they were Tomei and they couldn't bring the offering. They said to Moshe, Loma Nigora. And they cared, they wanted to be part of Klal Yisrael. They had a valid excuse. They didn't need to bring the korban. But they cared. They wanted to participate. So Moshe Rabbeinu knew they really wanted something. He says, wait, let me hear what HaKadosh Baruch Hu will tell me about it. And of course, we all know that they got Pesach Sheni, they got opportunity to bring the korban the following month. I was surrounded about individuals of Loma Nigora my entire life, but mostly the past 36 years. Rabbi Dov looked at the American world, society at large, and said, why should they not have a chelik in Torah? Loma Nigora. We all have, why can't they have? And the rest is history, as you all heard this evening. Loma Nigora and Rabbi Dov, together with his friends and partners, established the Jewish Heritage Center, and as well was involved in so many other Kiruv organizations. It wasn't just the Jewish Heritage Center. We talk about Rabbi Dov, but we were surrounded by him, in his presence, and his greatness, his godless. It wasn't just America, it was Eretz Yisrael. It was Aish and Or Sameach and the fine handlers. And it was Ezra and it was Rabbi Deutscher. Loma Nigora, why should they not have a chelik in Torah? Why should they not have a chelik? Let's make sure they have it. And it's not just for the Ruchnius of Klal Yisrael, but it was also for the Gashmias. Loma Nigora. I was fortunate to have people that became close with. Rabbi Dov was a close friend at the end. Family. Rabbi Dov in Maryland. It was able to be so close that, I hope you don't mind Maryland, but what I can say is that we got to use their home in New Hampshire, we got to use their home in Florida, we got to use their apartment in Eretz Yisrael, South Fallsburg. But we weren't the only ones that did. There were others as well. You know, sometimes you had to wait online. But Rabbi Dov was involved. Loma Nigora, why should we sit back here and they should not have their Gashmias needs met? Not just Ruchnias. Rabbi Dov, I remember telling me once a story where Chaim Goldberg in Eretz Yisrael was involved in the tzedakah, and he had funding from a certain individual that, for some reason or another, had to back out of the funding. Chaim Goldberg came to, I think, half of the funding came from this individual, the other half came from the Wolfson family. And the Wolfson family as well, we were involved with all these years, and so grateful that our Baron was the chairman, and Tzemach is here with us. But Reb Dov went to Reb Zev and says, what, Reb Chaim Goldberg lost his funding, and he was probably the one that was distributing the most amount of money in Eretz Yisrael at the time, Tzaniyim. And Reb Dov said, went to Reb Zev and says, Reb Zev says, if the other half is not there, so Reb Dov said, I'll put it together. And I think what the story goes, Reb Zev said, no, at this point we got to double the money or something. Reb Dov said, then we'll do it. And of course, as we know, in the recent years with his Yisayim and Almonas and the Gerushas and Almonas, Loma Nigora, we have to make sure that their needs are met. That influenced us, that impacted upon us. It's not my honor. I see these type of people. You have people are Dave. It's my chavrusa. We used to learn together. They're motivators. They're influencers. They impact upon you. You have no choice. Halavai, we can just say that we did half of what Reb Dov did in his life. Halavai, we can say we did half. We're zeicher to have a relationship with the Wolfson and the Wolfson family, or Baron, and what they do, and they're caring. And sometimes I sit with their Baron, and their Baron pushes the button. He's got to sometimes do more. Does Chazal speak to you? Do you do enough tzedakah? Do you care enough? It's not my honor, it's theirs. They're the ones that push us. They're the ones that drive us. They're the driving force. But more than that, it's many of you sitting in this room, so many of you that are here, but there's the thousands as well of the students that have come through our door. You've made my life so different. My life, my wife's life, of course, whatever I do, bracha gets more than just half the credit. She gets almost all the credit. But the sacrifices that you've made in your life, what you've given up to become frum, what you've given up to live the lives that you live, the honor is yours. You've inspired us to maybe push ourselves to sacrifice a little bit more, to try a little bit harder now avodas Hashem and what we can do. It's the students, the participants in the Jewish Heritage Center that really this honor is all about. And if I stand here to represent you as well, because the honor is really all yours. You were the ones that said Loma Nigora. There's a fellow in this room, Tully Brill. Tully Brill. He just walked out. I can't see what's going on. But Tully, about 10 years ago, says you got to meet somebody. We had, to some degree, got involved with some Hasidic kids that were challenged with their upbringing. And Tully says you got to start and open an organization to deal with it. Tully introduced us to Rabbi and the rest is history. But Tully was there with a passion. He says, Loma Nigara, why should these kids that have struggles with their Yiddishkeit, why should they not have a chance to see and to hear the beauty of what it is to be able to live a Jewish life, a Torah life, without having to compromise so much as they at that point in their time. Tully's Loma Nigara drove us. as much as we were a little bit here and a little bit there dealing with them, or having them over in our homes, but to start a serious organization that today is being run by the younger generation is to the credit of those that really cared at the beginning, the Loma Nigaraniks, the Tully Brills and his friends. And I still remember vividly, I got a call from Rabbi Wolfson one night. Says he was at he may not remember this, but he was at a dinner somewhere. Just to understand how far sometimes your influence goes, is that Rabbi says he was at a dinner and he met some of these, what they call tuna bagels, sometimes they refer to them, the kids that were challenged, and he met them and he asked them, they're interested in, they said they have a rabbi, the Jewish Heritage Center rabbis, Rabbi Church and Rabbi Portnoy. And Rabbi got involved with the Hasidic division because he met some of these guys at a restaurant one night. But again, it's Loma Nigora, it was all of that again, why should they not have a chance? We have to always look to give people the chance so that they can maximize their potential. All of these Loma Nigoras in my life are really almost insignificant to the Loma Nigora of the guy that's sitting on my left. Moshe Turk. Who asked me to join him. We go back a little bit longer than my shwager or Avram Stolber is that we go back almost 55 years. They started in high school together. Friends most of the time. Some of the some lapses here and there. Mostly friends, but truthfully, all these years, with a great deal of respect for Moshe, his keen abilities in connecting and understanding the needs of Klal Yisrael, his Mesiras Nefesh, for everyone's needs, was an inspiration for us, for me. So I am here, the honor is not mine. The thank yous are to you, because you've made the difference into who I am today. You've changed me who I am. You've taught me, you've influenced me, you've inspired me. Each and every single one of you in your ways. And of course, as I mentioned, my family. At one point I was thinking of saying that they had to give up, that the sacrifice for all the times that we had a house full of guests. But my wife told me that's not true. They didn't sacrifice. They've learned great lessons in life. They've met so many beautiful people. And therefore I say to all of you, I thank you all, from the students that have inspired me and my family, to the supporters of the organization that have given us opportunities, to the individuals out there that open doors for my family personally, so that our Gashmias needs are met more easily, and they know who they are. It's the Jewish Heritage Center and the work of the organization and my involvement that's made the difference in who I am today. And so for that I'm eternally grateful. And of course, most of all, I give thanks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to my parents, and my in-laws, of course, and to my Rabbeim, that gave me, taught me the basics. I give thanks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for opening the doors, to having met all of you that are here today, for having had the impact and of having influenced me in my life. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. Thank you all. One last thing, I'm sorry, I gotta say one last thing. And as well, of course, as a Turk mentioned, I am with a great deal of appreciation to those that are on my right, Avram and Elio, to know that all of our 36 years of involvement, I pass to them and I say, may you be inspired as I have been inspired. May you be influenced as I've been influenced. May your lives be impacted as our lives have been impacted, or may your lives continue to be impacted. These guys know each other for close to 30, almost, they're 1-2 days apart, and they think they stayed in the same playpen together. So they go back way for many, many years, and they've been getting along since then. So I wish them tremendous Hatzlacha to continue everything. And you did a wonderful job tonight at this dinner.